He wants to be the next governor of the state of Illinois. Bruce Rauner, how are you?
Hey, Stevie. Hey, Diane. Good morning. I'm terrific. How you guys doing today?
You still want the job, huh?
Yeah, I know it's like my wife said, somebody took my meds, didn't tell her. No, here's a fact. I love Illinois passionately. We raised our 6 kids here. We built businesses here. And I can't sit back and watch while the career politicians in Springfield let our state go down the drain.
Listen, kudos to you trying, because south of 80, Bruce Rauner, south of I-80, here is what you all sound like north of 80. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Here's what you guys sound like to us. Yeah, I'm not understanding what you're saying. I don't get it. You're not connected. It's all one big scheme.
You know what? As I travel the state, I'm in Savannah over on the Mississippi River this morning. I'm on my way to Springfield this afternoon. As I travel the state talking to voters, I ask folks, what's the number one thing I can do to restore the quality of life for families in Illinois? And the number one response by far is the seed from Cook County. And you know what? That's good for a chuckle, but you know what? That's a flawed political strategy. That means we Republicans don't win statewide races because there's a lot of voters in Cook County, and we got to make sure our message gets to them, and we ask for their vote. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be run an election campaign for every voter in every family in every county throughout the state, and we're going to deliver results as governor to turn our state around to improve the quality of life for every family. More jobs, lower taxes, better schools, and term limits on the politicians down there in Springfield.
How about the term limits? Because I know that the signatures are being challenged for the redo the map to where it's a kind of a commission. The gerrymandering theoretically would go away. That's being challenged. Is it possible, really, with the way this is all rigged, to really get term limits through? Because wouldn't they have to essentially allow people to vote on that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a great question, Stevie. The answer is we're going to get it done. I've pushed legislation in the General Assembly to get term limits on for a long time, and it keeps getting voted down in the committee. The politicians don't want it. They like their careers making money from their political power for decades. So we're taking it to the voters in a referendum. We needed to collect 298,000 signatures by May 4th. And the reality is we collected double that. We collected 596,000 signatures. And then the State Board of Elections and their political cronies tried to throw our signatures off. They investigated and they threw off a whole bunch of them. But you know what? They reluctantly said, boy, more than half, well over half of your signatures are good. So we're going to let it go onto the ballot. And November 4th, so the voters can decide. And then Madigan's cronies went ahead and sued to block our petition, but we're going to overcome the lawsuit. We're going to take this to the voters and let the voters decide whether 8 years is enough time for these folks to be public servants and then leave office.
Well, here, and God bless you. I think it's outstanding. I think they would change the dynamic. It'd take a decade or two, but the whole state, I mean, look what Louisiana did. My brother was kind of behind the push to get term limits through there in the 90s, and Louisiana, dare I say, is pretty darn healthy. They're doing a great job right now because I think they have kind of an influx of new people. How will you work with so many people on the other side of the aisle when it's just been really hard to do? Jim Edgar, I guess, the last guy to have any success doing it in the 90s.
Yeah, no, that's right. I will look forward to working with folks in Springfield. But the reality is we have some good folks in the General Assembly, and we have some folks who actually are there for the right reasons to be public servants. And I'm going to move to Springfield and live in a governor's residence. It's a novel idea. Nobody's done that since at least Jim Edgar. I want to get to know every legislator on a first-name basis. And I'm going to work the floor of the General Assembly every day they're in session, meeting with legislators one-on-one, arm-twisting, cajoling, selling, convincing, because we've got to get some major legislation drafted and passed. And I'm going to be using the power of the governorship and my every sales bit of ability I've got to work with both sides of the aisle to get major reforms done. We've got to reform our government in dramatic fashion.
All right, it's Bruce Rauner. I'm saying that correctly. Rauner?
You got it exactly right. That's perfect.
Bruce Rauner wants to be the next governor of the state of Illinois. Pat Quinn, our incumbent. Is he being investigated?
Yeah, multiple ways. You know what? Pat Quinn, unfortunately, is part of that system of corruption, self-dealing, cronyism, and patronage. He got his start in government doing patronage for Dan Walker, who went to prison as governor. Then he is a close friend and partner with Rod Blagojevich. He's got many of Blagojevich's staff and patrons, people working inside his administration. He defended Blagojevich and said he's an honest guy who always does the right thing. And now Pat Quinn is, just like our prior governors, he's under investigation both by state officials as well as federal officials for patronage hiring in his Department of Transportation and for fraud and abuse inside his anti-violence program, misusing taxpayer dollars. His Medicaid program was being investigated by an independent firm. They were finding that 40% of the enrollees in Illinois Medicaid were not entitled to get the benefits they're getting. Pat Quinn ended that independent investigation because he didn't like the results. Pat Quinn is part of that culture of corruption and failure that has extended in Illinois for decades, and we got to get him out of there and turn our state government around.
You know, you really, Bruce, you really have a chance to win. I mean, you know, you really, really do, and I think you guys know that, but it takes a guy like you who's been successful, and they're going to hit that side of you. They're going to say, oh, just another rich guy. So you're going to probably tell them that you weren't born with any silver spoon. You've earned what you've earned, which I think is all part of the American dream. To be successful is good. It is not to say, my gosh, what a bad guy. He's been successful and actually has earned money. That's a good thing. We need a business guy to run this state. I just don't know if is it too late? I mean, we're so in the hole here.
Well, we do have a deep hole, but you know what? The people of Illinois are fantastic. They are so hardworking and we're so passionate. And we've got everything going for us. We've got the best people in America. We've got the best location in America for any state. We have fertile farms, and I'm very pro-farm family, pro-agriculture. We have the capital, the heart of Midwest, and a financial center in Chicago. We have everything going for us. So we've got bad politicians and bad politics in Springfield. We're going to sweep that out, transform it, and we'll get a booming economy here going again. And we will grow our way out of our problem. Pat Quinn thinks we can tax our way out of a problem. We cannot.
Yeah.
We're going to grow our way out of our problems, and that's what Evelyn Sanguinetti and I are going to deliver.
Well, listen, Bruce, I like what you're saying. I think we're all looking for a leader. When Senator Obama won for U.S. Senate, and I had him on the air, and I said, Senator, he'd been in office, Bruce, like an hour. And I said, they're talking about you running for president. You know what he told me? He said,
what?
I'm just looking to find the bathroom around here. And I'm going, okay. So he found the bathroom, and he ran for president. If a Republican can make Illinois even pink and not dark blue, that changes the whole electoral map. I know that's way down the way in your life. You're trying to be governor. But, man, if you're an effective governor in Illinois, sky's the limit for Bruce Rauner.
Well, all I care about is Illinois. I was born and raised here. We raised our 6 kids here. I just love it here. And I want the families in Illinois to have great lives and great futures again, because our politicians have failed us, and families are suffering in Illinois with high taxes, high cost of living, deteriorating schools, lack of jobs. All I care about is turning that around so all of our families are thriving in Illinois.
Yeah, so you're not gonna be one of those guys like, what was it, Robert Redford, the candidate? You win, and then you say, now what? I accidentally won. Now what do I do? I think you have a lot of good ideas. I was looking at Bring Back the Blueprint that as it came out yesterday, I think.
Yep.
Eliminate shuttle and sell state planes. You're taking their ride. Man, what are you, some sort of radical? Are you kidding me? You're going to take their airplanes? That's not going to go well.
Exactly. You know what? We've got, the politicians shuttling themselves back and forth to the cost of the taxpayers of huge millions of dollars. We have the largest fleet of state government airplanes in the nation. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of taxpayer money. My wife and I are going to move to Springfield, live in a governor's residence. We're going to conduct the state's business from Springfield, and we're going to sell the vast majority of the planes in the fleet. We don't need those. And our politicians should be shuttling around the taxpayer dollar.
And she's an MD or PhD?
My wife is a PhD in developmental psychology. She's devoted her life to helping young children learn. My wife is the CEO of a not-for-profit organization called Ounce of Prevention. They run early childhood education programs for children in poverty, ages 0 to 5.
I mean, she looks delightful. I mean, she says, hey, I'm a Democrat supporting Bruce Rauner on the commercial, and I'm going, okay, now if we could have a one-on-one with a little coffee, she'd have to be rolling her eyes about what's happened in the federal government when it comes to the Democratic side. Bruce, there's just so many things I can't keep up.
No, that's right. There's problems everywhere. Unfortunately, in Illinois, we've got the worst problems of any state in America. We've got to do a dramatic transformation. That's why we're going to win this thing, and we're going to get our government working for the families of Illinois again, for our voters, our taxpayers.
Well, listen, I really appreciate the time again. It's a pleasure. Call anytime. I appreciate you being on. I'm rooting for change. I'm rooting for somebody decent and honest with some integrity, for Pete's sakes, to help Illinois get better, because we're pretty sick right now.
We really are hurting, and Stevie and Diane, it's great to be with you. I'm honored and humbled to be able to go to work for the people of Illinois. I'm not taking a salary. I'm not taking a pension. I'm doing this out of love of the state. We're going to win this thing and turn it around. So look forward to talking with you again.
Thank you, Bruce Rauner. Wants to be the next governor of the state of Illinois. It's ESPN and Sunny 95.3.